Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kline. And yes, I am your host, Patricia Kline, and you are listening to WVL 1 FM. And I'm excited. I really am about today. A lot is happening in our world. But before we start, I want to make sure that everyone understands. Don't call in during the show. Wait until after the break, after 11:30. I see a lot of people call in and then you can't get through after 11:30. We want to hear from you, but I want to hear from my special guests. A lot is going on. I'm going to be excited about my special guest. So just wait, hear what he has to say, and then call in after the break after 11:30 with your questions. So before we even start, I want to give that phone number, 856-696-0092. Let me give you that number again. It's 856-696-0092. Well, we have a special guest with us today, and it's Giancarlo D'Orazio. Giancarlo, what's been going on?
Good morning, Patricia. Thank you so much for giving me this time. I really appreciate it. Well, a lot's going on. As you may know, I lost my friend of 16 years, my puppy, Pio, 3 months ago. It was a rough 2 months, but last month we got a new puppy, and she is training me well. I've been really good with her. And in about a month from now, Renee and I are going to be grandparents again.
Again?
This time to a set of twins.
All right.
A boy and a girl. So God is good, and I love my life.
Okay, a lot is going on. I know you do, because I'm about to announce some things, and I'm saying, whoa, you love your life. Why do you want to do what you're about to adventure into? So let the audience know, who is Giancarlo?
Well, good morning to the listeners of this program. I am a 35-year resident of Washington Township. Many people may know me as a former business owner.
Well, wait. Washington Township, we have to clarify that, because Washington Township, I think there are 3 or 4 Washington Townships.
Correct.
So Washington Township of Gloucester County.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And as I was saying,
You're a businessman.
People may know me as a substitute teacher, especially at the high school in Washington Township, Gloucester County. Others may know me as a former councilman. But those who know me well can assure the others that I wear Washington Township in Gloucester County on my sleeve. And they can also assure that others that I deliver every promise. My name is Giancarlo D'Orazio. I am running for mayor for Washington Township in Gloucester County as a Republican.
All right. Well, you know what? I strongly believe, and anyone who knows me, I've been out there in politics, and I did run for several positions. And my motto was always about edifying you, not bringing anyone down, not bashing anyone, because people that will bash people is because they have no merits to run on. So they try to pull people down so that they could be edified. But I strongly believe in running on your merits. What can you do, what you have done, and what you're going to do in the future? Okay, so I like to talk about some of your accomplishments. Now, I know you've had several accomplishments, but due to time today, I'm going to hold you to just talk about 2 accomplishments when you were on the board or when you served as president of the council board in Washington Township, Gloucester County.
Well, Barbara, first of all, I want to say that I have no control of what people said, good things or bad things. I have control of my character, building my character, my reputation, and what I will do as mayor.
Okay.
that I will have control.
And Patricia wants to hear it. That's me.
Okay. Well, I served on council from 2011 to 2014. And the thing that I am most proud of accomplishing is that we reduced the budget by $1.8 million.
Wait. We have to stop there. Because this is uncalled for. You've never heard this called before. You've never heard this happen before. You've never heard this discussed before. So I have to stop there, pause, and repeat again so that the listeners will hear what was just said by Giancarlo. Giancarlo D'Orazio just said to us that while he was serving on the council board, they worked on very hard, I'm sure they did, to reduce the budget by 1.8 million. 1.8 million people. I mean, what a great accomplishment. Go on. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I had I have to let people know because this, a lot of people, like I said, will attack. I say, run on your merit. What have you done? You have reduced while you were on the board by $1.8 million, the budget.
That is correct. Actually, I have some of the numbers here. And by the way, this information is available on the website, the official site of Washington Township in Gloucester County.
Okay.
And the 2010 budget, before I got in, was $37,583,000. The 2014 budget, the last one that we adopted, was $35,778,000. So reduced by $1,805,000.
Now, let me tell you something. People, we have seen, because we just went to a budget meeting for the school board, and it was a disaster to actually budget it because they cut over 100 positions on the school board, actually approved to cut 100 jobs out of Washington Township in Gloucester County. So for you and for your fellow cohorts to get together and reduce the budget by 1.8 million, a miracle.
And that was without cutting any jobs or reducing any service.
So that was one, which was the best, the great accomplishment. Can you just share another accomplishment that you did with
Sure.
while you were on council?
I am most proud.
Or
of the
president,
second
because you did serve as the president.
Yes, in 2014, I was council president.
Okay, tell us another.
Excuse me. By the way, in 2014, we only used $230,000 from surplus. Well, now we're using anywhere between $5 and $6 million a year.
Of the surplus.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So the second part is that under the administration of Mayor Wallace, we were able to start a capital investment.
Explain that. Explain it.
It's a 6-year capital investment that we borrowed money. We borrowed close to $7 million, and we added to what we had for capital investment, and we extended from 2014 through 2019 to repave so many votes per year. And also we spent about $800,000 on getting the equipment for the Public Works Department.
Okay.
Which much needed. So the votes got done between 2014 and even after I got out through 2019. We worked with the mayor, the administration, the engineering company that was, still is, very familiar with our roads. So we took a list from them. The mayor decided on which one to do first, and I was one of the ones to vote for it. So we accomplished that, and I'm very proud of it.
Yes. Hey, let me tell you something. I first moved to Washington Township, and I put it out on Facebook. It was 1989, but I believe it was 1988 that I actually moved to Washington Township, and I lived in Colts Neck Estates.
Okay.
And so I stayed there for 10 years, and my sister and I bought a property there, and she got married and kind of booted me out. And so I moved over to Gloucester Township, and then I came back because I ran for a position that I was about to move, but I found a condo to rent in Washington Township and came back. So I am very familiar with Washington Township. But the reason I say this is because there's been some changes in Washington Township. Okay, major changes in Washington Township. When I moved there in 1988, it was a fabulous place to live. The school system was outstanding. The place just was so gravitating that I was excited about living in Washington Township and very proud to say I'm a resident of Washington Township. I am a resident of Washington Township now, and I can still say I'm a proud resident of Washington Township. I mean, you should never degrade or downgrade your residence where you live. You should be proud that you live there. But there are some things that have to be done in Washington Township. So this is the question that I have for you. Why do you want to run for mayor in Washington Township?
Well, some of the things that you said, I agree with you 100%. I just want to clear that out. We moved there in 1989, a year after you did. Mm-hmm. And the major reason why we moved there was because of the school system. We had two young ladies at the time of ages from K through 12. So that was one of the reasons. And we never looked back. As bad as some people may seem to be, and it is, I mean, as you drive around, mm-hmm. I'm still proud of being part of this community.
Yes.
And the reason why I want to run for mayor, because the experience that I got when I served on council, and the experience that I got after I got out, and driving around, and the administration that served between then and now, made me realize that someone needs to take the bull by the horn and really do something that is drastically needed in Washington Township. So I want to take all that experience, and I want to take it to the mayor's desk at the mayor's office. So who's the best one to do it than someone that did it before?
That's right, and made some major accomplishments, and you only told us two.
Correct.
That's right. I'm sure there are. But you gave us some meat to chew on and to think about, especially when we go to the polls and vote in June, or prior to, if you're doing a vote by mail, because they're out there already. And people need to make sure that they see your name and vote on according to your accomplishments, not according to people bashing, but we lift up and edify self, and hopefully others can do the same. So, everybody that gets in, they have a platform. And people talk about their platform, John Carlo. And they have a platform, but they don't tell us how they're going to accomplish these platforms. You can put anything on a piece of paper. But what are the tasks? See, I tell my students all the time, you can have goals that you want to accomplish, but how are you going to make it happen? What are your tasks? What are you going to do to fulfill those goals, to make those goals happen? So let's talk about and share with the audience, starting with some of your platforms. And one of the platforms that you spoke to me about that was dear to you was public safety. I noticed that I see a lot of Facebook posts and alerts coming through about things that are happening in Washington Township that I didn't think we would ever face, but it's happening all over the world. It's not just Washington Township, but all over the world things are happening. So public safety, what is it that you want to address in public safety, and how are you going to address it?
Well, as I mentioned to you before during a private conversation, public safety, it's been on top of my list for a long time. When I served on council, I supported the police department. my goal was to get out with the same amount of police officers that we had, at least. We had 86 of them at the time.
Okay.
So by the time that I got out, I was able, because I fought tooth and nail for them. I wanted to hire the same amount of people that we lost to retirement and other reasons.
Replenish them, yeah.
Yes, replenish the force. And I did everything I could. And some of the officers that are in the force now were back then. As a matter of fact, Chief Garsick was either a sergeant or a lieutenant at the time. So he could probably speak for one of the meetings that we had that I voted no to hire 2 of them because I wanted 6 of them. And when I got out of the meeting, they were all shaking my hand and said, "Do you realize that I voted no for 2 more?" I said, "Yes, but we know why you did it." So I'm going to take the same mentality to the mayor's office. And by the way, we started a program of having officers in school back then. We hired, in addition to the 86, working with the school, we hired 3 officers that went around from building to building during the school sessions.
Well, I'm glad you said that. You voted no for 2 because you felt very strongly that you could get the 6.
Absolutely.
That's right. See, we can't settle.
We had the money. I did the research on that. We could have hired a dozen because the 6 that retired on a salary over $100,000. At that time, an officer, a rookie, was getting paid $36,000. So we had the money to do it. And I was able to get it done by the time I got out of office.
Yeah, well, I hope people just heard what you just said. We are settling for less when we need more. We are settling for less. We're not going to settle. Anyone who knows me knows I'm not going to settle. Because if we can get 6, and you did get your 6, why settle for 2? When you need 6 people. So I'm glad that you pushed on for that. But you had another, something interesting on your platform was capital investment. Let's talk about this capital, because you talked about the roads. You just said one of your accomplishments where you actually was able to get some equipment, make some changes to the road, fix some of the roads out there. And so people, I'm telling you, you go to some areas, the roads, the cars go in the ditch and go in a hole and break your axle and everything else. But I'm glad that Washington Township values capital investment. But let's talk about capital investment. What's your platform on capital investment?
Well, my platform is to do the same thing that Mayor Wallace did back then as a mayor. I want to bring that capital investment program and actually have a perpetual one. And we can talk about the perpetual one, but I was educated. I asked a lot of questions with the department heads, and I was educated on the fact that by borrowing money and get it done, it's not that much money out of pocket to the taxpayer at one time. At one point, you take it either out of surplus or out of their pockets. So as you go for the 5, 6 years, or whatever the length of the bond is, you can repair those roads. And when you're done with that, you borrow another bond, and you continue to do that. And when you're done, you start all over again. That will be a perpetual capital investment in not just the roads. We also have some bridges. We have departments that need to do a big purchase at one time, like the police vehicles or other departments, whatever they need, computers, heavy equipment. And if you do it through that, that's said that you are paying whatever amount is for the duration for the roads. If you leave Washington Township, you don't have to pay for that anymore. The person that buys your home will continue to pay for that.
Right.
So you pay as you use it, so that you didn't get stuck to pay the roads of Washington Township, and now you go someplace else and do the same. So you're relieved from that. I would like to start that program as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I hate to interrupt you, I really do. John Carlo. But I want to make sure that people understand that the township can also lobby for county roads. The township can also lobby for state roads that's in their township. You can lobby for that. You can ask the state for some funding. We need to put some pressure on the state to bring down to southern New Jersey and make some changes. So I'm sure you would be one of those mayors that would put some pressure on for some. I had to say that. Because I know me. I'm sorry.
You are a me as a female.
I'm telling you, I know John Carlo would lobby to have this done for us. So I know time is running out, but I want to make sure that I get on the third and fourth point on your platform. And the third one happens to be business environment and the Black Horse Pike. I know the Black Horse Pike is a sore thumb, so let's talk about it.
I just would like to comment on what you said about lobbying for state votes, and which brings me back to public safety. To have, if I am mayor, I will get involved with the police chief and other authorities to have more police presence in our roads, in our municipal roads. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways I would like to do that, and that will be the police chief has to be involved.
That's right.
A lot.
Right.
To reach out to the county and the state and help us to patrol the state roads and the county roads. Mm-hmm. So that without increase the police force, we will have more police presence.
Yeah, because we do have a county sheriff, right? We have county sheriffs.
Correct.
We have state police officers. I mean, they need to make sure that they're monitoring Washington Township, too, that we're not left out. Let's talk about that Black Horse Pike.
Well, we all know the two special buildings that everyone talks about on the Black Horse Pike. And everybody wants to fix it, but we don't know how. Neither do I. But this is what I promise you, that the first step to the progress of taking the boards, the plywood of those buildings that look awful, is to talk to the owner. That is the first step. What are his intentions?
So is that the old Denny's and the Taco Bell?
Correct.
People, come on. Washington Township, like I said, 1988 when I moved in here, I didn't see anything boarded up, any buildings. We need to make some changes, people. It's been too long that we've been waiting for change. Something has to be done. And John Carlo, I know that you will give 100%, that you have all that you have to make that sore thumb go away.
We need to do it in a legal way. So we first need to find out what the options are of the owner. And that will relieve us of having other options to go by. One of them is the legal ones. We need to take a look at the township ordinances that we have.
Yes.
The township law. With a lawyer, and I'm not talking about a professional paper shuffler that tells us, oh, you can't do this. No. I'm going to have the best lawyer that we can have.
That's right.
And have it available just like we did when I served on council, 2 days a week in the office. So that,
wait a minute, 2 days a week when you served on council, our attorney was present.
Present, 2 days a week, 2 full days a week. Well, now we have attorneys that
come and go.
No, from the telephone.
Oh, well, I was going to say come and go, meaning sometimes they show up to meetings, sometimes they don't. Sometimes, because I've been in meetings where they were on the telephone, John Carlo, and talking. We could not hear them, which is unfair to the public. Let me tell you something. These council meetings are for us, the public.
Yes.
And if we can't hear what's going on, how does that affect us? How does that help us? How does that educate us? Not at all. And, and I used to say this to my students all the time. When you mumble and people can't hear you, it's because you're not telling the truth or you're trying to keep something from them.
Yep.
Bottom line.
I can't say it any better.
I'm sorry. I'm just so honest, people. Yes. We are trying to be honest. And that's why we need you to go out and vote in June or prior to, if it's a mail-in, and vote for John Carlo DeRazio. He is in the primary running for mayor in Washington Township, Gloucester County. Now, it seems like, because I always get people to give me little signals when it's going to happen, we're coming up on our half mark, but I want to share with you one comment, one more, your last platform point, budget and taxes. Talk to us.
Okay. Well, the current budget, which is of a 2023, we have now the 2024 budget, is $47.5 million. We accomplish all of the things that I talked about.
Wait a minute. When you were in, it was 35. You have reduced it to 35. Now it's up to 47
yes,
million?
Now it's up to 47.5 as of 2023. We haven't talked about the 2024 yet. So, and that budget increased by 11.5. $36 million during the same period of time were used from surplus. The politicians call it surplus.
So wait a minute. So they increased the taxes, I guess, to get to the budget, but then they also took money from the surplus too?
Correct. $36 million from surplus, 11.5 from the taxpayer, for the budget, they increased, and $3 million from they received from ARF, American Relief Fund. So you add them all together, it's $50 million. So I ask the listeners, the voters, if you drive today, do you see a $50 million improvement in Washington Township during the last 9 years?
No. My answer, because I drive. So, I look around and I said, I always ask the question, how do you spend your money? I don't know about anybody else, but I have a budget at my home and I try to stay within that budget. But at the end of the day, at the end of the month, I want to see some results. If I've given $3,000 to XYZ, I want to see a result from XYZ. So, okay, if I'm spending some money on some clothing, ladies, I want to see that I look good in the clothing. And the clothing is still around and I don't have holes in it after a month. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? I hope you do. So I don't want to interrupt you, but I think we have 2 more minutes, so let's...
Well, I want to emphasize that the more money we take away from the residents, because as I was talking about surplus, the politicians call it surplus, as if it comes from the tree. But that money belongs to the taxpayers.
That's right. We already paid it, right?
I call it the taxpayer savings account because government, local government, does not sell widgets. The only way they can have that money is if they take it out of your pockets. So you are also a consumer. So the less money you have in your pockets, the less money you have to patronize our local businesses. Mm-hmm. That's why we are losing so many businesses and we can't attract any of them. Business leave the majority of the time because they are not making any money. Business do not come here if we don't have money in our pockets. They don't just look at how much money we make, it's how much money they have left over
to spend.
Everyone wants a Trader's Joe or a Wegmans. Everybody wants that. But when these owners come down to the Philadelphia airport, down to the Black Horse Pike, and they see plywood on the buildings, business closed, while you're going to see the mayor, would they want to come here?
Would they want to invest? Wait a minute. Look, I believe in investing my money, but I want a high return on my investment.
So we need to allow the taxpayers to keep more of their money, so that they can create jobs. We talk about Taco Bell and Denny's as if just 2 buildings, but how many local jobs did we lose? And Boston Market, they just closed.
Wow.
And Pep Boys, how many local jobs did we lose of them? The people that don't have money in their pockets to patronize the nail salon and the pizza places and so on.
Well, even if they live outside of the township but come and work in the township, they're in the township, and so they can spend the money. A lot of people do things after work, before work. We can get their money, but if they're not coming to work,
yes,
we don't have their money.
And
it makes sense.
And especially when we give away us money to a lawyer that was just fired or quit or was asked to resign.
Oh, wait. I have to come back on that because we are out of time for our half. But let me just say one thing. We need to hear from you, audience. We need to have you call in and ask some questions or give some input. So you are listening to Cruisin' WVLT 92.1. Let me give you that phone number to call in because we will be accepting calls after the break. 856-696-0092. That number once again, 856-696-0092. Let's take our break and we'll talk to you after the break on the other side. Hey, and welcome back to Coffee with Kline. And once again, I'm your host, Patricia Kline. And we have our guest with us that's running for mayor in Washington Township, Gloucester County, John Carlo D'Orazio. I got that name, D'Orazio. I like that. So look for his name on the ballot and make sure you vote for him. We've been talking about some of his platform and why he wants to run for mayor and some of his accomplishments. But guess what? We have a caller on the line. Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, how you doing, Shirley?
No, this is Patricia.
I'm sorry, Patricia. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Got you. Yeah. The first thing the new mayor, if he becomes mayor, is to audit the town.
Ooh.
Just audit it. Bring an outside company in and audit the town. It's not just Washington Township. It runs rampant through New Jersey.
Yes.
Yeah, it's rampant. And you know why? You have to audit these people. Murphy has 9 that he's auditing right now. Something to do with the retirement taxes for municipality workers. But the thing is, if you can't audit where that dime or that nickel, whatever you want to call it, the money goes, then you know what? You'll never grab hold of anything. You must bring in outside audit people and let them audit the town and exactly where the money is going. It's just not Washington Township. It's all over, and it's rampant, and we'll never get ahead. This is why New Jersey is such a too expensive. There's no future for the youth because houses are too expensive, and the way the country's going, and boarded up people, buildings like commercial buildings, whatever that you're talking about, commercial fast food places. That's all over. It's just not Washington Township. It's all over. Some of the biggest names have left. Can't stay in business in New Jersey. They can't stay in business. It's too costly of the town taxes.
Well, you know what? I think you're right on where we need to be. We do need an audit in Washington Township and an outside outfit that has no connection. So you can't have any connections. You can't be pay to play and dealing with these people. And so I'm familiar with the pay to play. So we're not going to have people that we need to do favors for so they can turn their head and not report the true what's going on.
Exactly. I don't care who comes. I'll be honest with you. I don't believe in people who really don't know Washington Township. I don't live in Washington Township, but I live in a town that's in the same predicament as Washington Township. But I don't believe in who knows who and how many family members are working in the town and this and that. That's not being no part of being racist or anything like that. This is why you must bring in a outside company that does this professional, of course they are, and they tell you where your money's going, and they'll tell you where your problems are. Well, you'll never solve the problem if you don't do that.
Well, I thank you, caller, for calling in because we understand exactly what you're talking about and where you are. And I truly believe in audits. I used to be an auditor for Ford Motor Company in the service end. And when they would see me coming to the dealership, because I represented the corporation, when I would come to the dealership, they weren't very happy with me because there were things that were not done correctly. And when I audited, they had to pay their money back. They had to give Ford Motor Company their money back because they did something wrong. So I wasn't very well liked. But guess what? They knew better. They had to come up and do the right thing and be honest and stop all of this, like I said, doing favors, hiring people that are not qualified. I truly believe qualified. You must be qualified for the position to get the position. Well, thank you so much, caller, for calling in, and you have a wonderful day.
I'm sorry about calling
That's all right.
Shirley.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
I'm sorry.
Oh, maybe I was sure.
Anyway, that's my advice. So have a good
matter.
day, and God bless you.
God bless you too. It doesn't matter. He said he apologized for calling me Shirley, but that's all right. God is good. So, what did you think about that? The caller, but before you answer that question, callers, we need to hear from you. A lot of people are concerned about your congressmen and your senators and stuff. You should be more concerned about your local government, like your mayor, like your commissioners. You need to focus on local government now. So we need to hear from you. Oh, I didn't even realize that. I missed it. I missed the light flashing because we have another caller on the line. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys? I have a couple of, I don't know if it's a question or not, but I want to answer the caller that just spoke about the stores that were closed on the Pike. I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, those few stores were closed long before the COVID scam, and nothing was ever done about them.
Wait, hold on for a second. Hold on for that thought. Our future mayor, is that true? Were they closed prior to the COVID?
Yes, but they were open when I served on council.
Okay, go on.
Right, so nobody did anything about it then. And then, of course, all the other stores closing after, up until now. So we have a blight on our hands in Washington Township. Yes, there's a lot of stores closing. Big stores are closing, not just small ones. But anyway, just to go on, then we were told we were getting a Sprouts. And I believe another store was mentioned as well that we were getting in this township. And so far, all I can say is I haven't seen anything. Was that a blatant lie? That they were telling us these stores were coming into town and nothing's happening?
I can't speak from that, but I believe, and I might be wrong, I believe a Sprout went up in Deptford or somewhere close to us. So I'm wondering how close would another Sprout come to that location? I don't really know, but maybe John Carlo can answer that question. Do you know anything about the Sprout? Hold that thought. Do you know anything about the Sprout coming in?
I heard the Sprouts is coming in, but I can't answer any of the questions because when I first opened the communications between Sprouts and any of the people, the mayor or the business administrator or anyone else in Washington Township, I was told through Oprah that there were no communications, as in emails, U.S. mail, phone calls. They could not find any. So I don't know where this goes. It's not a question that I can answer for you. But I would like to take on something that you said between the business closing here and the two buildings that you described. They are two different agendas here. One of them is to make these stores look like somebody lives here, as into Taco Bell and Denny's. And the stores that are closing, they're closing because we just paid over the 9 years government $50 million that we are not supposed to pay through surplus money and ARF money at the budget amount that went up by $11 million. The more money we take away from you, the less you're going to have to go to a Denny's, a Taco Bell, or the Boston Market. And if they are leaving, of course, we can convince anybody to come in and say, hey, look, we have all this money to spend and we need you here. So we could give away as many as you want in tax abatement and all that. That's money taken out of our pockets. But regardless of what store you bring here, either through tax abatement or not, if you do not have money in your pocket to patronize them, they are not going to last. So we need to do first thing first. The gentleman that called before you and talking about auditing, he must have the sixth sense because he read my mind. And that's one of the things that I will do during the first 100 days in office.
Okay, well, we didn't get there yet. We didn't get there yet to the first 100 days. Caller, do you have any other comments or questions?
Yes. The Raising Cane, I believe it is.
That's in Deptford, I
think.
think.
Township, that's in Deptford now. So I think that's the one we're talking about other than Sprouts. I don't think, I myself have not seen a Sprouts in Deptford.
Yeah,
but anyway, that council has told us this, and where are they? Why isn't council doing something about this? I don't see it, and I'm sure a lot of people don't see it.
And caller, let me just say something too, okay? If they're in negotiation, there's nothing wrong with council actually telling the public that it's in negotiation or telling us the steps where they are.
I would like to correct you on that.
Okay.
When I served on council, I stayed in my lane.
Okay. Well, who would tell us,
right?
John Carlo?
This is coming mostly from council.
Okay.
The only people that can negotiate anything like that is the mayor and the business administrator together.
Okay.
Right? It's not council.
No, but can they educate us on where they are in the process? Can they say, that's what I'm talking about. They should be able to educate us in the council meetings where they are. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
They have no negotiation play, but they should be able to say that we are now in negotiation with XYZ or we have approved XYZ. They're not saying anything. At least I'm not hearing anything. And are you, caller, hearing anything about these stores?
No, nothing at all.
What I was saying is that we have three branches of government. We don't have a committee where we vote for these people and among themselves they declare which one is the mayor. We have a different system, very similar to Washington, D.C. The mayor is the executive branch, where council is the legislative branch.
Okay.
So the way they will work together is that the mayor will ask for a law to be passed.
Right.
And he or she will talk to council. Council will draw up the law through an ordinance. And then while it's done, then the mayor can execute the law, can enforce it if he or she chooses
Just
to.
like the president.
Correct. As far as being a business here, the people that want to come here, they will talk to the mayor.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure and that you understood that it's about educating the people. We should not be in the dark wondering where we are with these buildings or these companies coming. When we have public forum, the public needs to know what's going on. We need transparency. That's the word. We need transparency. And right now, I don't feel like there's any transparency because I don't know what's going on. The caller doesn't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. Who knows what's going on? They know what's going on?
When I asked the question about the $39,000 going to the former lawyer, I was told by a council vice president at the time that I should know better because I served as council president, that I should know better. We can't talk about these things. But I don't know that. When I served on council, the public know where every dollar went.
Well, caller, we thank you for calling because we have another caller on the line. So you have a wonderful day and God bless.
Thank you. You too.
All right. We have another caller on the line. Caller, you're on the air. Oh, they hung up. caller hung up. Caller, if you just call back. Sorry we had you on hold, but we're having this discussion. And yes, people need to know what's going on. We need more transparency. It just can't be certain people know what's happening. I'm talking about certain public people, not people that are serving on any position in government positions. But people need to know what's going on in your township. And you need to go to the meetings and ask some questions. Now, before we have probably 8 minutes, so I'm going to roll with one question. Oh, we have another caller on the line. Caller, you're going to be my last caller because I have a couple more other questions. Caller, you're on the air.
This is Lee calling from Florida.
Hi, Lee. How may we help you? And we only have like 2 minutes for you, Lee.
Everybody says that to me when I call,
I'm
but
sorry,
they never
you
say
wait.
it to anybody else. It's always me.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, it must be a coincidence then, every single time I call. Well, let me go real fast then. Okay, I got to. I'm an expert on the topic you're talking about, the blight and everything. I've been studying that for 20 years. I grew up in New Jersey, lived there most of my life before I moved here. What happened to New Jersey's business is two things. You ready? High property taxes and the loss of industrial jobs, too. And they may actually be related to those two things. Like even in Gibbstown, where I lived at, DuPont used to be in Gibbstown. Mobil used to be there, Mobil Oil. And they used to have a research center in Gibbstown. They used to call it Paulsboro, but it was really in Gibbstown. It was in Greenwich Township is where it was at. And they're all gone now. You're talking about a river town that had a lot of industrial jobs. You know what the largest employer in Gibbstown is now? The K through 8. You hear me? Not the high school. The K through 8 is the largest employer in Gibbstown. And then there's Woodbury Heights, the town I grew up in. I grew up across the street from a millwright called Mamco. And also at the top of the hill where I lived, the street, it went all the way up to the end of the street. Tyco was there. They're both gone. The bowling alley's gone. The
Lee.
bank is gone.
Lee?
What?
Your
Yeah.
2 minutes are up. I'm sorry, Lee.
Yeah, I know.
Have to
It's
get in
always
a little
me.
earlier. I'm sorry. I really appreciate every time I'm here, which is only the first Saturday in the month. Lee, you always call in. And I thank you so much because your input is very valuable. Thank you for calling, Lee, and have a wonderful day.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, then I want to ask a couple more questions. And one question is, who can vote for you, Giancarlo?
Well, obviously, Republicans can vote for me.
Republicans.
I'm running as a Republican. I'm on a ballot, and I'm on column E because I did not
Column
get
E?
E.
Okay.
E as an elephant.
Okay.
I did not get the county line, so I am relying on the voters. So I'm reaching out to the Republicans to go the extra mile and go to column E, and my name will be there. But I'm also reaching out to the unaffiliated. If you're registered unaffiliated, you will be able to vote for me. In New Jersey, you can vote in the primary. And if you want my name and my platform in November, if you value those things that I bring on, then I need your help on June 4th. So
That's Giancarlo D'Orazio.
correct. If you received a vote by mail and you're unaffiliated, you probably received two of them, a Democrat one and a Republican one. If you want to vote for me, you will open up the Republican one, toss away the other, and vote on the ballot and return it. If you vote in person, when you walk in, you will be asked to vote for either the Democrat Party or Republican Party. Again, if you want to vote for me, you will vote on a Republican ticket. You go to column E, and you pull my vote. As soon as your vote is counted, you're going to be automatically become a Republican. But the good news is, if you want to change back, you could do that the day after the election.
So you're not stuck into being affiliated with the
Correct.
Republican. You
Correct.
can go back to unaffiliated.
Correct.
Okay.
And then in the general election, as an unaffiliated, you can vote for me. And you can go back by getting an application from the clerk's office in Washington Township, and you don't need a stamp to fill it out and just mail it back, or you can do it online.
All right. Well, I don't want to interrupt you because I have like 8 minutes,
Okay.
maybe 5. So I'm going to say to you, in your first 100 days in office, what will you do for the people of Washington Township, Gloucester County?
Well, the first one I will eliminate the second salary that we have for the lawyer.
Oh.
On the ordinance. We have 2 salaries. We used to have one, but 5-6 years ago we started a new one.
Okay, so you're going to eliminate the second
Eliminate the second salary. That will be in order. Thank you to the gentleman that highlighted for me. The auditor, well, independent auditor will come in and study where our money's going. There will be no discretionary spending before the budget is adopted. We will not be spending money we do not have yet. We're going to reduce the budget by eliminating the corruption that I talk about. The part of it is the hush money. The other part is this: if we find money such as $5, $6, $7 million on surplus, what they call, some of the money will be used towards the tax levy. That will reduce your taxes. And
Wait, reduce our taxes?
correct. If you take that,
Reduce our taxes?
yes. Well, first of
Oh,
all,
wait. Go on. I just wanted to make sure people understood what
If
you
you-
just said. Reduce our taxes.
the budget is the Bible of our government.
Okay, let's go to
more-
your next thing. What you're going to do? We got only a couple minutes,
Right.
and I want you to make sure
And
you do it.
The other thing is that when we go to the budget all the way to the right, that's money that we did not spend.
Okay.
You find there every year anywhere between $2.5 million to $5 million. If we get that money, some of the money, you can reduce the tax levy by $1 million. That's reducing taxes. That's the first step. How much money? We don't know because I don't know how much that we're paying for the corruption at this
Okay,
time.
let's go. What's the next thing you're going to do? We're
and
still
the ne-
rolling.
And the next thing is starting a capital investment program, and I will introduce the budget within the first 100 days, something that we haven't had for years. As a matter of fact, I think this budget, they're going to start talking about it after the election, of course, because it doesn't benefit them. But my budget will be done before the 100 days in office.
All right. I'm telling you, Giancarlo D'Orazio has been my guest and has said a lot today, has addressed a lot of issues that's happening in Washington Township, Gloucester County, what he's going to do, what his platform is, how he's going to achieve those goals. I'm just excited because, like I said earlier, a lot of people talk. They have a great platform, but no action, no target, no plan on how they're going to achieve what they put down on paper. We've gone through a lot today. We've talked a lot today, and right now we need your support. We need Republicans and unaffiliates to go either to the polls or mail-in ballots and vote for Giancarlo D'Orazio for mayor, Washington Township, Gloucester County. I'm excited. It's been a pleasure. We had fun. We laughed. I'm just excited about what we're going to do, what's going to happen in Washington Township. We look forward to some major improvements. We look forward to having you as our mayor representing Washington Township, Giancarlo.
Thank you.
So everybody knows I've been given my signal to wrap it up. So I'm just going to say I will be back in June, first Saturday of the month, always 11 to 12. I hope that you will join me with Coffee with Kline. And I want to say God bless you and God bless America.